Senator Fischer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Madam Secretary. It is a pleasure to see you today, and I want to add my congratulations on your nomination. I appreciated you coming in for a private meeting that we had in our office, and I thought we covered a variety of issues, and I just want to touch on a few of those today with you. Of course, on everybody's mind is the Highway Trust Fund. When you hear the President-elect speak about infrastructure and putting money into infrastructure, part of that, I would assume, would go to the Highway Trust Fund. We are looking at a shortfall of $107 billion over the next 5 years following the expiration of the FAST Act. And what are your thoughts on addressing that long-term solvency of the Federal Highway Trust Fund?
The Highway Trust Fund is in bad shape because of the declining miles, because of the increased miles per gallon that cars normally get. The gas tax, which is 90% of the funding of the Highway Trust Fund, is not as lucrative as it used to be. And the fund annually spends $47 billion, takes in 37. There's a $10 billion deficit every year. You can't make that up on volume. So this is a huge issue. And the pay-fors for any infrastructure proposal are all challenging and all have their particular champions and also detractors. So once again, if confirmed, I look forward to working with this committee and also the Congress on this #1 priority, among the top priorities of this president-elect.
Thank you.
And it will go bankrupt by 2021 if we don't do something, so we all know this.
Yes. This is an issue I worked on in my state as a state senator. We were successful in thinking outside the box on some policy issues, and in a couple weeks, we'll be putting forward a proposal here to start that conversation on how we're going to be funding our highways. Another thing that I've worked on in this committee, Secretary Chao, is addressing and reduce the growing number of those unnecessary regulations that we face. And during the last Congress, the subcommittee on surface transportation that I chaired held nearly 20 hearings and events on how best that we can keep goods moving across this country and do so safely. So I was pleased to be able to have language in the FAST Act to reform the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's regulatory process by making it more transparent and responsive and open to input from our stakeholders. I would ask you, what do you think is the best way that we can keep passengers and freight moving across our system, and how do you plan to approach looking at regulations that many consider to be a burden on how we are moving goods and people across this country?
You and I had a long conversation during our courtesy meeting, which I'm very grateful that you granted, on many of the transportation issues in your state. And it was very clear from your career in the past, as part of the state legislature, that you are quite an expert on all of these transportation issues yourself. So it was a real benefit for me to learn from you and hear your points and also see your passion for protecting the interest of your state. What was the question? I'm so sorry.
How are we going to address
the regulations, sorry.
Regulations.
So on the regulations, I think the great challenge for all regulators is to balance the ultimate goal, obviously, of safety, but also to make sure that the regulations that are enacted are based on sound science, on true data, and that the underlying analysis is solid. That is the best way that we protect consumers and passengers.
Right, I agree with you on that. Another point, we're looking at shortages with regards to commercial truck drivers, with airline pilots, and that has a direct impact, not just on our transportation system, but on our country as a whole. When we're not able to move people, when we're not able to move and see products and see commerce grow. So I look forward to working with you on that as well. My time is up, but I thank you for being open to all of the issues that your portfolio is going to encompass when you take over the department as the new secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fischer. Senator Moran.
Mr. Chairman, thank